Hey, what's up? This is AmKay at Purple Sky 11, and this is part 21 of my Benoit series. And in this part, we're going to look at the evidence list, the items police removed from the Benoit home after receiving the search warrant. In part 5, we looked at the search warrant and the investigator summary of what happened with the residence search after the search warrant was granted. And along with the search warrant was a return of service letter that said, attached hereto is an inventory consisting of 27 pages of the instruments, articles, or things which were seized pursuant to this search warrant. And I don't think I ever went over these 27 pages of items that were seized from the home. I know I did a video about the items seized from the safety deposit box search. You can see that in part 7, but I never showed the items seized from the home. So let's take a look at that now. In the documents are copies of handwritten receipt for property forms, and then following those, there's also a typed list of the items. And these items do match up. There's nothing missing or added from the handwritten to the typed copy. So I'm going to read through the typed copy, and at the end, I'll just scroll through the handwritten copies so you can see them for yourselves, sort of like I did in part 7b. So here we go. So this is the first page of the typed evidence list. Evidence 2007 Benoit, and there is the case number and the address. And this is the evidence that was collected on June 25th, 2007. In this one it says MR1. MR are the initials of the investigator who collected the evidence. And then the 1, 2, 3, 4, that is the items in the order that they were collected. So for example, MR, I believe, stands for Investigator Manuel Rojas. And these names you'll see when I show you the handwritten copies. You'll be able to see the signature of the investigator who signed off on obtaining that evidence. And if it was handed off to any other investigator, that will be listed there. So you can check the chains of custody if you want to do all of that and see if you find anything interesting or suspicious. Let me know. I personally did not. That doesn't mean that it's not in there though. So if you find anything, please let me know. I'd be interested to know. But some of these investigator names should be somewhat familiar. If you've watched the earlier videos, I believe all of the sections of part 6, we went over the investigator supplementals. So let's get into this list. On June 25th, 2007, Investigator Rojas collected one large envelope containing documents labeled Tyler Madison Homes, one large envelope containing documents labeled 130 Green Meadow Lane / Roundtree Place, multiple notebooks labeled Chris and Nancy Benoit tax returns 2005-2004, and one March 2nd, 2005 Chris and Nancy Benoit portfolio review. One file folder labeled Wolverine Sports, Benoit 2004, 1, 2, 3, and 4 quarters returns and reports, bank statements, corporate expenses, pay stubs, including taxes withheld. And I do have a lot of banking stuff about Wolverine Sports, and I will show you that in another video. One file folder containing federal tax payments 2003 to 2005 and letters. One file folder labeled Benoit Wolverine 2005. Two file folders labeled Benoit Wolverine 2005 taxes. One file folder labeled Benoit pay stubs and royalties earnings 2003. Two file folders labeled 2004 taxes. One clear plastic storage box with black lid containing documents from 2001 and 2002. One clear plastic storage box with blue lid containing documents from 2003. And now we're switching investigators now. We're at PR1. One silver Hewlett-Packard computer tower and hard drive. 2 rolls of black cloth tape. Now, for some of this stuff, we do have information in the investigator supplementals about this evidence. And you can see that in, I believe, part 14. It's in 2 parts. The one with the DNA testing, when we looked at the DNA that was found on the cloth tape and the sock and the cords that were binding Nancy. So this is the 2 rolls of black cloth tape, 1 sock with blood, tape, and hair on it, 1 base control for the front gate. And now we're at MH, another investigator. This is Mary Harris. She found 1 leopard-covered checkbook, one beige flower-covered spiral address book, one black leather address book, one black metal file with miscellaneous papers about a bank, 6 Wachovia security envelopes that were unopened, one letter from attorneys Bloom, Hergut, Damer, Rosenthal, Lavalette, and Feldman, one unopened letter from the Georgia Department of Labor, miscellaneous multiple unopened envelopes from banks, IRS, and other securities, one Navy Staples Day Planner from 2007, one burgundy Afghan that was covering Nancy Benoit's body, one burgundy-covered Bible found by Nancy's body. Yeah, is that weird? All the stuff around Nancy was burgundy-colored. And I also think it's interesting we didn't see any sort of evidence testing done on this blanket covering Nancy's body. Surely they could have gotten some DNA from that, but they didn't test that, I guess. If they did, that portion has been redacted from these documents. I mean, I guess if it did contain evidence of Benoit's guilt, then why would it need to be redacted from the documents? Who knows? One light blue pillowcase and pillow from Daniel's bed under Daniel's head, one pair of red and white socks, one blue and cream-colored Bible, my first Bible, placed at Daniel's head. So matching burgundy blanket and Bible for Nancy and matching blue for Daniel. The blue pillowcase and the blue and cream-colored Bible. I get that he's a little boy. So, of course, light blue is often the color chosen for young boys. But there could be something to it. I don't know. Just something I noticed. One clear plastic water bottle. One Jackie Chan extra green beverage container hold numerous black stir straws. One Dynamite Vineyards 2004 Merlot wine bottle found in gym of residence. There's that wine bottle. Why didn't they test that for fingerprints and DNA? And again, if they did, it's not in these documents. And if it would have proven that Benoit was drinking the wine or Nancy was drinking the wine, because remember, Nancy was the only one who had alcohol in her system post-mortem. I think that would have been cool to have that tested to find out who was drinking the wine. Just, so I've had people comment telling me it's stupid to question why they didn't test these items. Then they tell me the reason they didn't test them is obvious, and it's because it's expensive and time-consuming to do these tests, and that there was no reason to test them because years of detective work has taught them well, and that it was obvious what happened anyway. I guess that's one way to look at it, but to this idiot here who's playing detective, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, why didn't you do your job, police? You had one job. Figure out what happened. Why didn't you fingerprint anything? Why didn't you DNA test the wine bottle? Were there any wine glasses in that sink full of dirty dishes they mentioned? And if so, how many? 1? 2? The dishes were dirty. You could have fingerprinted those glasses. Toxicology tests show only Nancy had alcohol in her system. Chris did not. So many questions could have been answered. Was Nancy drinking alone? Was Chris drinking and had no alcohol in his system because he lived long enough for it all to metabolize? Was anyone else there drinking the wine? I don't know. How many glasses were in the damn sink? You can see more of everything I just ranted about in greater detail throughout my Benoit series. And you can see all of this in the video about the search warrant. And if it's not in there, then all of the parts of part 6 about the investigator supplementals. That goes over every one of these investigators and what they wrote in their reports as they carried out their duties in the home. There's a link to the full playlist in the description box below. And in parts 4 and 5, you can even see some crime scene photos. Nothing graphic, but interesting nonetheless. So getting back to this evidence list, and then it has listed again a burgundy-covered Bible found by Nancy Benoit's body, but if you notice, the item number is exactly the same. So it's not like it was 2 Bibles or anything, it was just 1 Bible. Now we're switching investigators again, and this evidence was collected by Detective Fenimore. 1 full bottle hydrocodone for Nancy Benoit, and then it has the prescription number. 1 empty bottle hydrocodone and the prescription number. 1 empty bottle hydrocodone. 2 boxes testosterone for Chris Benoit. So right here, we have some testosterone. However, testosterone is not the same thing as anabolic steroids. And if you watch part 11 of my series, you can hear about a legitimate medical reason that may explain why Benoit had been using testosterone. 1 carisoprodol for Christopher Benoit, full. Carisoprodol is generic for Soma. 2 alprazolam for Nancy Benoit, full and partial. And alprazolam is Xanax. And you can see in more detail in part 5 about the search warrant exactly how many pills were left in the bottles. All of that's covered in part 5. 2 empty bottles, 1 Lorcet for Chris Benoit, 1 Lunesta for Nancy Benoit. The Lorcet is a stronger formulation of hydrocodone, and Lunesta is a sleep aid. 1 bottle naproxen for Nancy Benoit, 1 bottle carisoprodol for Nancy Benoit. Naproxen is just a pain reliever like Aleve. It's an NSAID or a non-steroid anti-inflammatory drug, and carisoprodol again is Soma. 9 needles. So again, that could be connected to steroid use, testosterone use, but there's no evidence to show whether any of these needles had even been used. It said that they found needles in individual packages, capped needles, but they never mentioned if they saw any needles that looked like that it had residue in it, that it had been used. Again, if they found it, it's not in these documents, but they did collect these items for evidence. So why didn't they test it? We have 1 Georgia ID for Chris Benoit, 1 brown bottle of blood energizer with suspected marijuana and pipe, 1 pack of 1.5 rolling papers, 1 bottle of 222 Johnson & Johnson pills in white bottle. And again, all of that's covered more in previous videos. And then we are now on June 26th, 2007. So this was the evidence collected that day. So on 6/26/07, Detective Bruce Lee collected 1 financial statements, various paperwork, records, contact numbers, and other miscellaneous paperwork. And Detective Fenimore collected 1 blue bag with suspected growth hormone. And there we have another instance of something mentioned that is steroid related, and that was found in the refrigerator in the bonus room where Nancy Benoit's body was found. So there's also a miscellaneous multiple bottles of prescription bottles, vitamin supplements, ephedrine tablets, and this was collected by Mary Harris, and she also collected 1 foil Activia lid, and I think that was found in Daniel's room. So it just makes me wonder, why didn't they test any of this stuff from Daniel's room? Daniel had a very high level of Xanax in his system post-mortem. Why didn't they test if the yogurt had been drugged? I guess you couldn't get that from the lid, but did they find the Activia container? Because maybe they could have looked in that to find out if somebody crushed up some Xanax and put it in there. Again, I'm not saying that it was deliberate for Daniel. It could have been meant for Nancy Benoit. It could have been meant for Chris Benoit, depending on your perspective. And then Daniel could have accidentally ingested that, leading to something going terribly wrong. But I talk more about that in previous videos. Remember, this is a series, so each video builds upon information covered in previous videos. So let's keep going. 1 LaCroix can of soda with contents from Daniel Benoit's nightstand. So again, did they test that? Was that drugged with Xanax? Don't know. We'll never know now. 1 sipping straw found on the floor in Daniel Benoit's bedroom. 1 blue pillowcase, the second pillowcase from the bed. 1 light blue fitted sheet from Daniel's bed. 3 Verizon LG cell phones, 2 with black leather cases. So there you go. All you guys who are interested in the cell phones, they found 3 Verizon LG cell phones, 2 with black leather cases. And from my understanding of reading the documents, they never specify whether 2 were Nancy's, 1 was Chris's, whether 2 were Chris's, 1 was Nancy's, or how exactly that worked out as far as who was using those phones. All it says is that 3 phones were found. Well, 3 cell phones anyway. 1 cell phone charger, 1 United portable phone and answering machine unit, all sheets and pillowcases from the bed in the master bedroom. And it was that bed that they said that there was a little bit of blood on the bed. But again, no information as to whether the blood on those sheets were tested and who it belonged to. I'd also be interested to know where this blood was located on the bed. Was it at the pillowcase? Was it down lower where, I mean, I'm not trying to be gross, but, you know, it could have been that time of the month if a little accident could have happened. I'm not trying to be disgusting, but it's been known to happen. So a little more information on the blood found on the bed would have been cool. Miscellaneous prescription info, bags, thank you card, and prescription directions found on dresser. 2 keys in red holders, which were to the safety deposit box, 4 credit cards and miscellaneous receipts, Bank of America Platinum, an American Express Platinum, 1 light blue pillowcase from Daniel's bed, second case. And again, this is listed, oh, interesting, look at this. 1 blue pillowcase, second case. But unlike up above, where the Burgundy Bible was listed twice, they don't have the same evidence number. So is it 2 second pillowcases? Because if you recall, the pillowcase that had been under Daniel's head had been collected for evidence the previous day. Torn rags from the gym area of home. Remember, they said that Benoit had torn a rag and put it around his neck. 1 set of miscellaneous papers from office area of residence. So then it says ARA, page 1. And I'm not really sure who AR would be. There is a Detective Russell, but that's a J. Russell. But this individual collected 1 black bag with miscellaneous papers. Page 2, 1 white piece of paper with SmackDown schedule from June 23rd, 07. 1 SmackDown/ECW talent tour travel. Then it says page 3, 6 pennies, 3 nickels, 1 Canadian nickel, 1 Canadian penny, 1 Bank of America ATM card expired November of 07, 1 Austrian $5 bill, 2 Austrian $100 bills, 2 Euro $20 bills, 1 Euro $5 bill, 1 Euro $10 bill, 1 black wallet with miscellaneous items and cards. Then it says page 4, 1 American Express card. I guess that's the expiration date, July of 08. 1 American Express card expires April of 2010. 2 Bank of America cards expiring April 2010 and July 2007. 1 Georgia driver's license. 1 $5 bill, 2 $20 bills, 8 quarters, 6 dimes. Then it says page 5, 1 manila folder with contract papers from bottom drawer. Black and orange flash drive, 256 megabytes from center drawer. 2 clear containers with tax information, 1995 to 1999 and 2000. And that's the end of that day. Now we're on June 27th, 2007. And they collected 4 empty ring boxes. Oh, and all of these items from this date are items they found in the safety deposit box. So most of this was already covered in part 7 and 7B, but just so you know, these items were not taken from the home. And MH is again Mary Harris. It says 4 empty ring boxes, 4 rings with varied stones, 1 gold with pink stone, 1 diamond and emerald, 1 diamond ring guard, 1 silver colored ring with lavender stone, 1 black box containing gold colored necklace and earrings with emerald colored stones, 1 strand of possible pearls necklace, small white box containing small cloth bag with pearl type ring and earrings, 1 blue nylon bag containing 2 small boxes and miscellaneous jewelry, 1 small gray box with miscellaneous pieces of jewelry, 1 Freedman's box containing another small blue box and gold-colored ring with heart-shaped clear stone, 2 watches, 1 black with ring and 1 gold-colored, 2 blue boxes containing 12 collectible coins, 5 silver-colored collectible World Trade Center coins, 1 red and tan Dooney and Bourke purse, 1 blue box containing 2 Freedom Tower coins, 2 U.S. passports on victim Nancy Elizabeth Benoit Dowse Sullivan, and Dowse Sullivan were her previous married names. 2 Canadian passports on Chris Benoit, 2 cleared checks numbers 1026 and 1027 for $2,000 and $317. 1 1997 day planner, 1 black vinyl folding case containing clear stoned pendant, 3 photo envelopes containing photos of eye injury. These are the items from the safety deposit box because that's where they found the envelopes of the photos of eye injuries to Nancy. And as you can see in part 7, even though they found photos of injuries to Nancy's eye, it was determined that it had nothing to do with Chris Benoit, that it was related to a previous relationship of Nancy's, but no further information as to which previous relationship or any further findings pertaining to that. 1 manila envelope containing personal info like social security info, jewelry appraisals, birth certificates, etc. 1 blue vinyl folder with blueprints to 130 Green Meadow Lane. 1 H&R Block 1997 tax info for Nancy Sullivan. 1 plastic packet of items purchased, receipts like grills, furniture, etc. 1 packet from Morrison Homes. 1 packet from H&R Block 1995 tax returns, Kevin and Nancy. 1 packet from H&R Block 1996 tax returns, Kevin and Nancy. 1 packet changing beneficiary to Chris in 1998. 1 manila folder marked 305 Sanctuary Drive containing legal documents like quick claim deeds, sales and purchase agreements, closing statements, etc. 1 plastic pouch containing health insurance policy from State Farm Mutual on Chris Benoit. 1 life insurance policy for $250 for Christopher Michael Benoit from State Farm Life Insurance Company. $250 seems a bit low for a life insurance policy, and since there's 3 zeros after the decimal, it makes me wonder if that's a typo. Maybe the policy was for $2,500. Or maybe it's for $250,000 and that should be a comma instead of a decimal. I don't know. I think way too much. And these policy numbers are redacted. $25,000 life insurance policy on son David Benoit from State Farm Life Insurance Company. 1 $500 life insurance policy on Christopher M. Benoit. And again, I'm thinking that's really low, and we have the decimal typo again, so I'm thinking maybe $5,000 or $500,000. 1 legal papers on residence located at 3641 South Atlantic Avenue, number 105 in Florida, Current Shores South, manila folder. 1 manila folder containing legal papers on property at 3047 South Atlantic Avenue, number 505, Oceans 2. It definitely, in case you haven't noticed, it seems like the bulk of the evidence they wanted to collect was related to financial matters. 1 State Farm Mutual Health Policy for Nancy Sullivan. 1 State Farm Mutual Health Policy for Nancy Sullivan. 1 State Farm Mutual Health Policy for Chris Benoit. 1 set of divorce judgment and mediation papers from Martina Benoit. 1 blue vinyl folder from the home source containing homeowner's policy and plat info on 304 Pemberton Court. Now we're on to June 28th. 1 black glove with 3 orange capped syringes. There's another item found related to possibly steroids, testosterone, 3 orange capped syringes. The black glove, the 1 black glove, oh my god, do I ever get a laugh at that. Considering that in the first part of this series, I set up the premise of comparing the Benoit crime with the O.J. Simpson crime and how O.J. had the right to at least have a trial by a jury of his peers, but Benoit didn't have such a quote-unquote luxury, if you want to look at it that way. But what's interesting is, if you know about the OJ case, there was 1 black glove that was found at the crime scene, and there's also 1 black glove that was found at the Benoit crime scene, and I can't help it. I find that amusing. And then 5 wrapped syringes, some open. Okay, so did you test the ones that were open to see if they had anything in it? Had they been used? And if so, did the syringes contain traces of anabolic steroids or testosterone? We would have known for sure if they would have tested it. Why didn't they test it? And if they did, where is that evidence? I'm sorry I keep repeating that, but my point is, why would they redact the evidence that proves guilt beyond a reasonable doubt from these documents? What's the point of that? So I guess based on that kind of logic, I'm assuming it's not in these documents because they just didn't have the evidence of steroid use. And then we have one Jones pharmacy bag with patient info on it, and one Good Neighbor pharmacy bag. And all of these items were found in a suitcase belonging to Chris Benoit. These items were found on June 28th, 2007. But what's interesting is it wasn't the police who actually found these items. These items were found by Nancy's family after police had cleared and released the crime scene to the family. And the family had called police to let them know they had found what could be items of interest. And police returned to the home on 6/28 to collect these additional items. And then on July 3rd, 2007, again, this is additional property located when they collected the one long black-handled knife that was found underneath Daniel's bed. The detectives wrote in their reports that they collected the knife immediately after it was photographed. But if you continue reading through the documents, you'll see that that's not true. They had to return to the home on July 3rd to collect the knife because it had not been collected into evidence at the time they were investigating the crime scene. And then on July 9th, 2007, police had to return yet again to the home to collect more items found by the family. These are not items that police collected during their initial search of the home. So on July 9th, police went back to the home and collected one medication bottle for Christopher Benoit of hydrocodone 10-650 milligram tablets, which is known as Lorcet, prescribed by Dr. Aston. The bottle was empty, initially contained 120 tablets. The medication bottle for Christopher Benoit of carisoprodol 350 milligram. One medication bottle for Chris Benoit, Propecia, which is for hair loss, and one needle with cap. So there again, one more item related to possible steroid or testosterone or use of human growth hormone. But if you've noticed, there's not exactly any hardcore evidence found in the home that proves Benoit used massive amounts of steroids. That's going to be important to remember for the next video, which will be about the 2007 steroid scandal with the WWE. Then on July 11th, police again returned to the home for the fourth time to collect additional property. In my humble opinion, that's 4 times far too many. But this time they collected one large bottle of hydrocodone, 650 milligrams, which is Lorcet, one small bottle of Propecia, one small bottle of sertraline, and sertraline is an antidepressant, Zoloft, one white cassette tape with a cell phone call, and one black cassette tape. And it's the cassette tape that I think might be a much bigger part to this story than any actual steroid use. The tape apparently contained voicemail recordings of a law enforcement officer leaving Chris Benoit a message concerning a mail-order pharmacy he was familiar with. And it says this message on the cassette tape was consistent with a call they received during the investigation advising that Chris Benoit's name surfaced as a customer of a mail-order pharmacy selling steroid products. But I don't think it ever specifically says the name of the pharmacy on the tape. And I'm going to talk more about this mysterious cassette tape in the next video about that 2007 steroid scandal. And that is it for the item list, and I'll close out the video by scrolling through the handwritten evidence pages, except for the items that were found in the safety deposit box. If you want to see those handwritten evidence lists, you can find those in part 7B. But that's all I have for you today. If you like what you see and you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel at the Cash App link in the description box. And while you're down there, don't forget to like and subscribe, share with anyone you think might be interested, and be sure to hit that little bell so you receive notifications when new videos drop. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure you stay tuned for the scroll through of the handwritten evidence lists. This has been AmKay at Purple Sky 11, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye!